and outside, in front of our eyes. Let's talk about our belief system, because everything will be as you think now. Your consciousness, your awareness level. Many people make only one mistake. Only one. They do not inform or listen to my clear message from 1995 about whom my soul is. The blind leading the blind. The kingdom of God is within you and in front of your eyes. The kingdom and heaven is among us. On earth, this is the real moon landing. 1969, 1999, 2001. You are your unknown I, who live behind a wall made visible. When people understand this, all walls will fall. All walls will fall. I'll explain this for you, Mr. Trump, so that everyone will understand and be proud of their faith again. Love one another. Saturn is in Sagittarius. What does this mean? I will explain. This is important. Global attention, equality, just as important for all nations to know. How it works, ignore, be ignore. Discriminate, the unknown I, be discriminate. It's easy. It's easy. Help and be helped. It's impossible to ignore or discriminate without counterforce. That's how it's built. So what's the point of indifference? Challenge the other with your index finger. Word spoken is exactly what you do in your resistance movement against the unknown I. Against the unknown I. In your faith, consciousness level and belief system. Wake up! Mr. Trump, I must inform you, right after your second conversation on television, October 9th, 2016, with Hillary Clinton on national television in Norway, launched a very one-sided, ugly documentary about you. They took out another application program and sent unilaterally unidirectional harassment by you and your candidacy. Nothing about Clinton. The main newspaper in Norway, Dagbladet, wrote this on its cover about you. Scandals, lies and ladies. October 19, 2016. The Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, they mobs Trump. Many have complained the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation to into Broadcasting Council at this point. They believe government channel drives an active campaign to defame you, Mr. Trump. You have been selected by the people in the United States, in a democracy. I should ask, how can a democracy work like this? You're representing the Republicans. Maybe that's the question to ask. The petitioners believe the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation is not neutral in their coverage. They believe Trump gets a lot of criticism, while Hillary Clinton completely indulge a probing eye. And this was and is propaganda. Yes. October 19, 2016 in Las Vegas, you did a very good debate. Although you and Hillary only discuss symptoms, self-rightness, and the battlefield. It's just a show. To win, Mr. Trump, you must go to the causes, relations. Talk about your faith, no your level of consciousness. Your Christian faith, it becomes as you believe. The prophet controversy, because it's like you think for or against you. Mr. Trump, I will also tell you about how media planning its own consensus agenda in an unambiguous manner against Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. This was at the same time, October 14, 2016. Fredrik Skavlan had his talk show Skavlan in New York. Guest author Salman Rushdie accused Mark Zuckerberg Facebook for not doing his job as an editor. It's about the iconic image of Vietnam 1973. The editor of Norway's main newspaper Aftenposten and the Prime Minister Erna Solberg of Norway mocks Mark Zuckerberg without looking in the mirror. Without looking in the mirror. They just point with their finger. The real question is, what iconic image are they hiding for humanity? What iconic image are they hiding for humanity? What other images are kept hidden by the accusers? What about my iconic picture on your back room, Mr. Prime Minister Erna Solberg and ex-Prime Minister Jens Stoltenberg and ex-Prime Minister Kjell Magne Bondevik? What kind of propaganda is served in newspapers following their own consensus? What are going on in the connection with the media and political leadership? That's something to discuss. And the Christianity leaders, how can they stop this from media? How is it possible? What kind of propaganda is served in newspapers following their own consensus? What is corporate responsibility? Prime Minister of Norway, Erna Solberg. Erna accused Facebook for censorship and says to Aftenposten, I do not think they have acted on the responsibility they have. End of quote. Responsibility and censorship accusations from Prime Minister Erna Solberg and editor of Aftenposten, VG Schibsted. I, Roger, ask, do you have a mirror, Prime Minister Erna Solberg? And you, Jens Stoltenberg, sitting there with Mr. Donald Trump on May 17. May 17, Jens Stoltenberg. A bit strange. Do you have a mirror, Prime Minister Erna Solberg? And here you see the picture. She is accusing this picture, and she knows what's going on in the Middle East right now. Children running like this in Yemen, Afghanistan, the Middle East, Iraq, everywhere in these countries. And there you see me with the iconic picture, May 13, with me and Mr. Bill Clinton. Your only trump card, Mr. Trump, as I started the letter with. Aftenposten is Norway's largest newspaper, 1.2 million readers every day. Their chief editor, Espen Egil Hansen, says, what's happening now is dangerous. He warns that Facebook's dominant positions threatens Norwegian media freedom. Does he have a mirror? What about media censorship and Schibsted's dominant position in Norway? VG, Aftenposten and everything. VG, can you read it? Let's talk about censorship done by Erna Solberg, editor Hansen and former editors and prime ministers in Norway, as Jens Stoltenberg, Torbjørn Jagland and Kjell Magne Bondevik going back to 1995. Collusion consensus between editors and political leadership in Norway must in focus. I mentioned May 13, 2001 and the publication of my book Jesus Part 2 in Easter 2005. I have the solution to this conflict and all duels in the world. All duels. I have the solution. I am the solution. The only solution. Please, Mr. Trump, have a look at my webpage, www.pilkos.no. And Jesus Part 242 Wake-up Calls. Read especially Wake-up Call number 42 about how media chief editors in Norway conspired against me. Here you can also read about author Tom Hegerland, former prominent media man and news editor at television station TV2, who at every book release getting much media attention. He got the image from Vietnam War censored on his Facebook profile and made outcry. He could have a chat with his family and media newspaper opposition leader in newspaper Dagbladet, Jon Olav Hegerland. Accusations of war types against the very successful Mark Zuckerberg. And Mr. Zuckerberg say that he starts every Monday with the most important thing first. And my case is the most important thing for the world to get known and discuss. And have listen. Harmful editing. Aftenposten initiatives are noticed abroad and are referred to by English language sites like Time and The Guardian. Dear Mark Zuckerberg, it says. Chief editor Egil Hansen says, Dear Mark, I follow you on Facebook, but you do not know me. No, I write to you to tell you that I will not comply with the requirement to remove a documentary photography from the Vietnam War taken by Nick Gut, not now and not in the future. So begins the chief editor Espen Egil Hansen appeal to the Facebook founder. He wants to say loud and clear that what is happening now is dangerous. He'll raise a discussion. That's what the media do. Tell. Even when things are unpleasant, he says. Even when things are unpleasant, he says. Hansen says to NRK he believes the position Facebook has been the dissemination of news, giving network giant responsibility. With the strong position Facebook now, he wants to say clearly, when they go in and edit the public debate in this way, he means it's dangerous. What about you, Mr. Hansen, and your editing? That's what's dangerous.